Good morning. My name is John Bullion, and I am Chair of the Board of Assessors. Welcome to the January 2025 meeting. In accordance with the open meeting law, at the beginning of the meeting, I must disclose to attendees whether the meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being broadcast via Zoom and is being recorded for publication, later viewing, and administrative purposes. Also, after notifying the chair, any person may make a video or audio recording of the meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium subject to reasonable requirements of the chair as to the number, placement, and operation of equipment used so as not to interfere with the conduct of the meeting. Please let me know now so that I can make the announcement that announcement as well. Thank you. Thank you. And so the meeting is being recorded. And first item on the agenda is public comment. We don't have any member. There's nobody online and nobody in the room. So we have no taxpayer appointments. Oh, actually. General updates, anything before we go into executive session? Do we have any executive session business? ATB? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we noticed this meeting specifically to speak with members of the public after the tax bills had been sent. And so my understanding is the tax bills were received last week by people in town.
Yep. Many people in town.
And so that's where we are. So we have no executive session. I would say let's wait pending give taxpayers an opportunity to find their way in to see us.
What's considered a reasonable amount of time?
That's a very good question.
I certainly would.
Excuse me.
Just a couple things
15,
about general updates.
Sure.
Yes.
Let's do that.
So, yeah, just to confirming something that I think we all thought, which is that because the February 1 date is on a February 1 is the due date because of the date that they went out.
It
So-
defaults to February 3rd.
And so it will go to February 3rd because I think we had talked at one point about concern about if the deadline ever fell on a Friday. That's not going to be an issue. I did see on the webpage that it does have that February 3rd date listed.
It's also listed on the tax bill itself.
The February 3rd date is?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, because I don't think I've seen mine. I don't know.
I haven't seen mine.
You haven't seen yours
No.
either?
No.
Okay. I guess the other thing too was, I had a couple of informational updates for the webpage, and who is it that I should, there was someone out here at one of the earlier meetings. Who is that I should give that to?
Amy Halson.
Amy Halson.
Yeah. Did we get people coming into the assessor's office last week asking questions about their bills?
Yes, not with the bill,
Okay.
but questions about the change in value.
Evaluation.
Yeah,
Okay.
not too many.
Okay.
We got a lot of calls
Okay.
asking for tax amount updates.
So again, not responding to people having received their bills yet.
Correct.
Okay, so that's likely to start happening because there are many of us that haven't received our bills yet.
Yeah, we did get confirmation from our mailer company that the bills certainly went out. The confirmation came December 31st at 8:30 in the morning.
So they
And that
dropped.
they had
on
gone to
December
the-
31st.
I don't know if it happened on Monday, the 30th, or the morning of the 31st. We got confirmation at 8:30
That's
on the
really weird
31st
we don't have
that they
those.
were at the pier.
Just kind of a point. Typically in something as timely as this, I forgot the name of the form, but it's a USPS form, has an actual stamp on
Yeah.
it.
We get that. That's
Did-
provided
did
by
you-
the mailer,
That's
Okay.
why we know they
Yeah.
went in
Okay.
the mail.
Is that-
proof of mailing.
Yeah,
And so what are the most common questions you tend to get?
Regarding the bills,
Yeah.
first off, I would say people are more interested in the tax amounts rather than the value,
Right.
unless they're selling.
Mhm.
So it's usually, why did my taxes go up?
Okay.
And then we talk about the change in value, and then we talk about from last year to this year, what the percent change was, and then it's usually That's kind of a calming effect for them in most
Okay.
cases.
So the tax rate, then you can.
Yeah.
The tax
Okay.
rate offsets. you know,
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do you get
valuation
people
increase.
try to argue with you sometimes about these, or?
In a little concerned
Yeah, okay.
initially, and then we provide printouts and make sure the information that we're carrying is accurate,
Okay,
and so that's usually,
yeah, no, I just wanted to put out there
Yeah.
that, make sure that people understand that really, the only way that they can really get anything done on their tax bill is to file an abatement and go through the Board of Assessors,
Yeah.
that arguing with the assessing department or the treasury or the finance department or calling the town manager is not gonna accomplish what they want to accomplish.
right. But we'd certainly rather see them than not see them.
Yeah,
right.
If
Oh, if
they're
they have
interested in
questions,
filing,
Absolutely, if they have questions.
so we can talk about it upfront and give our professional opinion.
Yeah, so I agree, absolutely.
Yeah.
If they have questions about how to file for an abatement, understanding why they may have had the change, I think that's,
Yeah,
I think that's good that they have the research to that.
When they call up, do you always tell them what the deadlines are?
we do.
Okay,
Yeah. We tell them the form's available online, or we can send one through the mail.
Yeah, one question about that, as far as the abatement form, did we change the information on the page? Because I seem to recall there was some stuff about, in the past, so that this looks like the same form as before, it's a 2-page
Right.
form. But I think there was some additional information, an additional sheet that said, if you want to get an abatement, identify some home sales.
Sure.
within this timeframe.
Yeah, that was a supplemental
Yeah,
form
the supplement.
that was created last
Right.
year, I think.
And
Yeah.
did
Um,
We didn't,
Decided
because
to
it wasn't clear to me
discontinue
that was, I don't know, it didn't go out last year. I wasn't sure if it had cleared the board yet, so, and I had to get the bills out, so I said.
Oh, okay. No, I just think that was part of the package before. I think there was that additional.
But I don't
Did we
think we ever
approve the
closed,
form?
I don't think we ever closed the loop on it, that's all. I don't remember
yeah,
the board saying, yes, please have this information sent. Or if you did, I apologize.
No, I mean, there was something I thought it was online. In addition to the abatement form, there was more like a package. I thought it was longer and it had the form, but it
Yeah.
also had a separate form that said, you should try to identify sales of comps, basically, of
Yeah.
your type.
That was a
Current-
supplemental form
Yeah,
from
yeah.
fiscal 24 that
Right.
was added. That you have in front of you, state form 128 is the state form.
Right.
And that's all that's required by state law.
Okay. But, so we just decided that other part of it was not helpful, or?
no, I don't think we, as David said, we never closed the loop on it.
We can
Well,
certainly,
but it was out there before. I mean, it was.
But you've had a change in office staff and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
not aware.
too many men on the ice, if this
Okay.
was hockey, yeah.
good analogy.
All right.
Well.
So
kinda.
we can certainly add it to the website. I have to see what the form is and.
Okay.
and
Yeah, if you want
whether
to take
you
a
all
look at
agree.
it, it's-
Yeah,
well,
I
just
think
take a
we
look
should bring
at
it
it,
back.
and consider
Yeah,
whether it's worth
Right.
putting back. If there's a reason not to, that's fine too, but. It did seem like it provided some additional guidance as far as what we're looking for, because I think what we don't want is what, as I understand, you get sometimes where people just say this is too high, and then that's all you get, and that doesn't really help us, and it's probably not good for them either.
Or my house isn't worth this much.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it actually takes longer because we have to deny it pending
Yeah.
receiving that.
I will say the office staff is well versed in asking for as much information that the taxpayer can provide. A one sentence reason, we let them know is really not helping them with their case. So we are asking for additional information and as many pages of attachment as they'd like to include.
I mean, my sense from last year was that the ground that seemed most successful was the error in data.
Mhm.
That
That's-
usually
that's
you're
always
not,
the most successful.
yeah,
Because
that's
that's,
because we have like
Right.
nice computers that if the data is accurate, they usually figure it out. We did have one case, as I recall, where it did seem like someone produced a bunch of information on a comparable house style. And showed that there did seem to be something. It just seemed to be more, it seemed to be higher than other comparable houses on comparable lots and stuff. I don't know if you recall that case, but.
Yeah.
But I do recall there being one like that, but otherwise it seems
Hmm.
pretty uncommon to get for there to be.
Yeah, I
too
mean,
much
usually
if
the-
there's not a data error.
Usually the applications are, my house isn't worth that much, or, or when it's, when the valuation is equivalent to the purchase price that they paid, they're like, well, I overpaid.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it just, they aren't able to make a, statutorily, required or, you know, what do you call it, argument that their assessment is too high, so. And then we could see, the frustration
Right.
and, in the forms, but, I think going out, looking at the houses and keeping contact with people is really the best way. So,
Yeah, just so you know, I did put something on Facebook about how people can find their property card and check their
I saw that.
house data if they want. I don't know how many people actually look at that stuff.
I looked at it.
I think more people look at various other requests.
I read it.
Dog sitting
There were
or
no
something
comments
like
on
that.
your post, and I
No,
said,
no,
I think it was either people, I thought it was clear again, but I'm reading it, through the lens of being here and, but nobody commented, and that indicates either satisfaction or lack of understanding, but I don't know which.
and just to confirm, because one other thing I think that's come up a few times has to do with timing of it, like, right, so if something happened to the house between January of 2024 and today, that basically doesn't affect the
That's correct.
current assessment for the next year. It might affect the next year's, but generally wouldn't affect this year.
Interestingly enough, as I said, I had a couple of taxpayers that visited with me last week, and in one instance, it had all to do with activity in July of this year,
Okay.
which I explained that won't impact this year's bill,
Mhm.
but will have an impact in 26.
Right. Well, what's the advice in that case? Just document.
Document the information.
As of January 1st.
Well, it's actually that the individual is looking at other homes on the property and seeing that they were assessed below their home. And they were, of course, saying that, well, it's a new home recently built and everything. And I was explaining, but that's why I was looking at the condition of that home on January 1st, 2024, and the activity has happened since then.
I see.
Yeah, I think I commented, I agreed. I'm curious to see, once we'll get the information on the 4 houses on Greendale that were built in place of the church. Identical houses, I'm assuming identical parcels that have been carved out reasonably. And, then, by all rights, the properties should be assessed for the same value, within a small of difference, but you might make an argument that the ones at the end might be worth more than the 2 in the middle.
The marketplace dictates that,
Right.
and usually
Right. Well, they're on the
for
market for the same
townhouses
amount.
and units tend to go for more than units in the middle.
Yeah.
Corner lots tend to do better than non-corner lots. Cul-de-sacs do better than busy streets.
And the market will also, one house may sell a couple of months before another house. And so there's market
Interest
differences
rates
and
impact
dates and
that.
interest rate, other factors. So what else is on the market that's driving people looking at those houses versus other properties that may not be in the market when they start looking, so. Mike, you get all into this.
The only thing that I heard, which surprises me, corner lots are usually valued. Not from the assessing standpoint, but in a tear down standpoint, it's less valuable. because it has two 20-foot setbacks as opposed to a 15 and a 20 front. So I don't know how that's affected. So
Just marketplace people,
they prefer that, huh?
yeah, because on two sides you don't have a neighbor.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than that, no other updates other than the next meeting will be at the end of the month, January
Right.
27th. By that time, we'll have a sense of what we have for abatement applications. Of course, folks do have until the 3rd to file, but we'll certainly have a good sense by then
Right.
on how
And-
much the workload will be during the winter and spring months.
Right.
Have we received any abatement applications yet?
We have none.
And what has your experience been as far as when they come in right at the end or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last 10 days.
I'm assuming Friday, Monday.
So as you said earlier, as we discussed earlier, February 1st is a Friday. The date for the deadline is February 3rd, which is
Monday.
Monday. And
postmark does matter, so if they stick in the mail, make sure the postmark's on there.
on 3rd, and even if we get it the 5th, the 12th, the 20th.
Well, there is no guidance on that. It comes a year later.
I mean, look, we're still, we have received our real estate
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. The
Right.
bills are considered issued,
Yeah.
so and the postal service gets it to you when it gets it to you. Same
Right.
thing is your application, as long as it's postmarked, doesn't matter when it's received by us, postmark determines it. And again, that's the US Postal Service. Sending it by UPS or FedEx, that doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. It used to be how it was in patent office. You got a
Yes.
thing like that where it was only USPS.
It's only the governmental office because it's in the government's hands.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, the 27th is probably a good date. Like I said, I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think we need like some weekly update of how many
Right.
are coming in, but that'll be a good indication because it's like 1 week before.
Right,
and-
right.
Right.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
And in fact, if there are obvious applications that can be dispensed with that day, we'll be
Right.
ready for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just
yeah, I
to
think it's
get
just
that done.
non-statutory or not.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So no update, no appeals. You guys didn't have to go to court.
No, the ATV case was continued.
Yeah.
How was it, why was it continued?
I don't know. That's all that, what I forwarded you on
I
the
know,
email
you
was,
got that.
she was actually on break, the clerk for the appellate tax board in our cases. But her boss was following email and calls. And that was probably from the appellant.
Yep.
So they must have heard back. She had been trying to reach the appellant for a week prior to taking a leave.
We were ready.
I think there's only three cases left. Two commercial and then the one residential.
Right,
There's of course the utilities, but that's formal.
yeah, that just keeps going and going and going. Okay.
Oh,
Wrap up.
certainly the board can continue, but I'm not keeping you. So if you do wish to adjourn, you may.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.